What, sister? You will give up the sweet and enchanting title of maiden? You can entertain thoughts of marrying? This vulgar wish can enter your head?
Yes, sister.
Oh! Who can bear that yes? Can anyone hear it without feelings of disgust?
What is there in marriage which can oblige you, sister, to behave so...
Fie!
What?
Fie, I tell you. Can you not conceive what offense the very mention of such a word presents to the imagination, and what a repulsive image it offers to the thoughts? And can you bring yourself to accept all the consequences which this word implies?
When I consider all the consequences which this word implies, I only have offered to my thoughts a husband, children, and a home.
Oh, heavens! Can such ties have charms for you?
And what at my age can I do better than take a husband who loves me, and whom I love, and through such a tender union secure the delights of an innocent life?
Ah! Heavens! What a grovelling disposition! What a poor part you act in the world to confine yourself to family affairs, and to think of no more soul-stirring pleasure than those offered you by an idol of a husband and by brats of children. Endeavor to cultivate a taste for nobler pursuits. Give yourself, as we do, wholly to the cultivation of your mind. You have, for an example, our mother, who is everywhere honored with the name of learned. Try, as we do, to prove yourself her daughter. Aspire to the enlightened intellectuality which is found in our family, and acquire a taste for the rapturous pleasures which the love of study brings to the heart and mind. Marry yourself, sister, to philosophy, for it alone raises you above the rest of mankind.
Heaven, whose will is supreme, forms us at our birth to fill different spheres, and it is not every mind which is composed of materials fit to make a philosopher. Let us not interfere with the just decrees of heaven, but let each of us follow our different instincts. You, born of the wings of a great and noble genius, will inhabit the lofty regions of philosophy. I, remaining here below, will taste the terrestrial charms of matrimony. Thus, in our several paths, we shall still imitate our mother. You, in her mind and its noble longings, I, in her grosser senses and coarser pleasures, you, in the productions of genius and light, and I, sister, in productions more material.
When we wish to take a person for a model, it is the nobler side we should imitate, and it is not taking our mother for a model, sister, to cough and spit like her.
Well, it is for you that her lofty genius did not always devote itself to philosophy. Pray, leave me to those littlenesses to which you owe life.
I see that you cannot be cured of the foolish infatuation of taking a husband to yourself. But pray, let us know whom you intend to marry. I suppose that you do not aim at Cleandra?
And why should I not? Does he lack merit? Is it a low choice I have made?
Certainly not. But it would not be honest to take away the conquest of another. And it is a fact not unknown to the world that Cleandra has publicly sighed for me.
Oh, yes, but all those sighs are mere vanities for you. You do not share human weaknesses. Your mind has forever renounced matrimony, and philosophy has all your love. Thus, having in your heart no pretensions to Cleandra, what does it matter to you if another has such pretensions?
The empire which reason holds over the senses does not call upon us to renounce the pleasure of adulation.
I have not prevented him from continuing his worship, but have only received the homage of his passion when you had rejected it.
But do you find entire safety, tell me, in the vows of a rejected lover? Do you think his passion for you is so great that all love for me can be dead in his heart?
He tells me so, sister, and I trust him.
Do not, sister, be so ready to trust him, and be sure that when he says he gives me up and loves you, he really does not mean it, but deceives himself.
I cannot say, but if you wish it, it will be easy for us to discover the true state of things. I see him coming, and on this point he will be sure to give his full information. Cassandra, deliver me from a doubt my sister has raised in me. Pray open your heart to us, tell us the truth, and let us know which of us has a claim upon your love.
No, no. I will not force upon your love the hardship of an explanation. I have too much respect for others, and know how perplexing it is to make an open avowal before witnesses.
No, my heart cannot dissemble, and it is no hardship to me to speak openly. Such a step in no way perplexes me, and I acknowledge before all, freely and openly, that the tender chains which bind me, my homage, and my love, are all on this side. Such a confession can cause you no surprise, for you wished things to be thus. I have suffered many slights, for you reigned over my heart like a tyrant, but weary at last with so much pain, I looked elsewhere for a conqueror more gentle, and for chains less cruel. These eyes have looked upon me with compassion, and have dried my tears. They have not despised what you had refused. Such kindness had captivated me, and there is nothing which would now break my chains. Therefore, I beseech you, madam, never to make an attempt to regain a heart which has resolved to die in this gentle bondage.
Bless me, sir. Who told you that I had such a desire? And in short, that I cared so much for you. I think it tolerably ridiculous that you should imagine such a thing, and very impertinent in you to declare it to me.
Ah, gently, sister.
And you, who speak to me, what moral sense have you when you respond to a love which is offered to you before you have received leave from those who have given you birth? Know that duty subjects you to their laws, and that you may love only in accordance with their choice. For they have a supreme authority over your heart, and it is criminal in you to dispose of it yourself.
I thank you for the great kindness you show me in teaching me my duty. My heart intends to follow the line of conduct you have traced, and to show you that I profit by your advice. Pray, Cassandra, see that your love is strengthened by the consent of those from whom I have received birth.
I will do so with all diligence. I only waited for this kind permission from you.
You triumph, sister, and seem to fancy that you thereby give me pain.
I, sister? Oh, by no means. I know that the laws of reason will always have full power over your senses. Far from thinking you move by any vexation, I believe that you will use your influence to help me, will second his demand of my hand, and will by your approbation hasten the happy day of my marriage. I beseech you to do so, and in order to secure this end—
Your little mind thinks it grand to resort to raillery, and you seem wonderfully proud of a heart which I abandoned to you.
Abandoned it may be, yet this heart, sister, is not so disliked by you, but that, if you could regain it by stooping, you would even condescend to do so.
I scorn to answer such foolish prating.
You do well, and you show us inconceivable moderation. Oh, your frank confession has rather taken her aback.
No, she deserves such freedom of speech, and all the haughtiness of her proud folly merits my outspokenness, but Since you give me leave, I will go to your father to...
Oh, the safest thing to do would be to gain my mother over. My father easily consents to everything, but he places little weight on what he himself resolves. He has received from heaven a certain gentleness which makes him readily submit to the will of his wife. It is she who governs, and I wish I could see in you a more pliant spirit towards her and towards my aunt. If you would but fall in with their views, you would secure their favor and their esteem.
I am so sincere that I can never bring myself to praise, even in your sister, that side of her character which resembles theirs. I like a woman to have some knowledge of everything, but I cannot admire in her the revolting passion of wishing to be clever for the mere sake of being clever. I like her to hide her knowledge, to be learned without publishing her learning abroad, quoting the authors, making use of pompous words, and being witty under the least provocation. I greatly respect your mother, but I cannot approve her wild fancies, nor make myself an echo of what she says. I cannot support the praises she bestows upon that literary hero of hers, Mr. Tresottin, who vexes and wearies me to death. I cannot bear to see her have any esteem for such a man, and to see her reckon among men of genius a fool whose writings are everywhere hissed, a pedant whose liberal pen furnishes all the markets with waste paper.
His writings, his speeches, in short, everything in him is unpleasant to me, and I feel toward him as you do. But as he possesses great ascendancy over my mother, you must force yourself to yield somewhat.
Yes, you're right, but Mr. Tresottin is hateful to me. I cannot consent, in order to win his favor, to dishonor myself by praising his works. It is through them that he was first brought to my notice, and I knew him before I had seen him. I saw in the trash which he writes all that his pedantic person everywhere shows forth, the persistent haughtiness of his presumption, the calm, overweening confidence at which at all times makes him so satisfied with himself, and with the writings of which he boasts, so that he would not exchange his renown for all the honors of the greatest general.
And you have good eyes to see all that.
Well, I even guessed what he was like, and by means of the verses with which he deluges us, I saw what the poet must be. So well had I pictured to myself all his features and gait that one day, meeting a man in the galleries of the Palace of Justice, I wagered that it must be Tresottin, and I won my wager.
Oh, what a tale!
No, I assure you that it is the perfect truth. But I see your aunt coming. Allow me, I pray you, to tell her of the longings of my heart, and to gain her kind help with your mother. Suffer a lover, madam, to profit by such a propitious moment to reveal to you his sincere devotion.
Gently, beware of opening your heart too freely to me. Although I have placed you in the list of my lovers, you must use no interpreter but your eyes, and never explain by another language desires which are an insult to me. Love me, sigh for me, burn for my charms, but let me know nothing of it. I can shut my eyes to your secret flame as long as you keep yourself to dumb interpreters. But if your mouth meddle in the matter, I must forever banish you from my sight.
Do not be alarmed at the intentions of my heart. Henriette is, madam, the object of my love, and I come ardently to conjure you to favor the love I have for her.
Truly now, the subterfuge shows excellent wit. This subtle evasion deserves praise, and in all the romances I have glanced over, I have never met with anything more ingenious.
This is no attempt at wit, madam. It is the avowal of what my heart feels. Heaven has bound me to the beauty of Henriette by the ties of an unchangeable love. Henriette holds me in her lovely chains, and to marry Henriette is the end of all my hopes. You can do much towards it, and what I have come to ask you is that you will condescend to second my address.
I see the end to which your demand would gently head, and I understand whom you mean under that name. Oh, the metaphor is clever, and not to depart from it, but let me tell you that Henriette rebels against matrimony, and that you must love her without any hope of having your love returned.
But, madam, what is the use of such a perplexing debate? Why will you persist in believing what is not?
Dear me, do not trouble yourself so much. Leave off denying what your looks have often made me understand. Oh, let it suffice that I am content with the subterfuge your love has so skilfully adopted, and that under the figure to which respect has limited it, I am willing to suffer its homage. Always provided that its transports, guided by honour, offer only pure vows on my altars. Farewell! This ought really to satisfy you. I have said more than I wish to say.
But your error is...
Leave me! I am blushing now, and my modesty has had much to bear.
Oh, well, may I be hanged if I love you, and...
No, I will hear nothing more of it.
Deuce take the foolish woman with her dreams. Was anything so preposterous ever heard of? I must go and ask the help of a person of more sense.